ॐ कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Ninth chapter is called Raja Vidya Rajaguhya Yoga. We have already seen the meaning. Vidyanam Raja is Raja Vidya. Guhyanam Raja is Raja Guhya. The best of all branches of knowledge and the best of all the secrets is this wisdom contained in the ninth chapter. One more point is, in Sanskrit, the verbal root Raj, Rajate, means to shine, to illumine, to bring light. And by calling this wisdom of Brahmajnana, Atmajnana, knowing the supreme reality Brahman, or knowing our own true nature, by calling it Rajavidya, what is meant is, this is the knowledge or wisdom that illumines, that lights up our life, whereby ignorance is destroyed. Spiritual awakening is facilitated. Here now we see the second verse, which is where the expression Rajavidya Rajaguhya is mentioned explicitly, being the basis of the title of this chapter. And we to some extent saw the Shankara Bhāshya, Tacca Rajavidya Vidyanam Raja, Deepti Atishayatvat. Deepti itself means light, illumination, and Atishayatva, surpassingly great is the ability of this insight to drive away the darkness of ignorance and to light up our life with peace, love, and total fearlessness. Deepyate hi iyam atishayena brahma vidya sarva vidyana. Deepyate means shines. This vidya shines atishayena, more than any other. Among all vidyas, sarva vidyanam atishayena deepyate. And also it's called Raja Guhyam. Adi Shankaracharya writes, Guhyanam Raja, and without further explanation goes further to the word Pavitram, Pavanam, purifying. We many a time feel sad at our imperfections, at certain impurities that have crept into our life. We find our shortcomings, our rough edges, etc., cause disturbance to others and invariably disturb us also. What is the way out? The present head of Shrangeri Mutt, Swami Vidushekara Bharati, has said, all the teachings of Sanatana Dharma boil down to two. One is worship, adore, think of God as much as possible. Bhagavad Aradhanam, and the second is, he puts it as Paropakara. Serve people, serve others. Bhagavad Aradhanam cha, Paropakarascha. These are He says Sanatana Dharmas Pradhana Upadeshav. These are the two main teachings of Sanatana Dharma, and Bhagavad Gita is the excellent representative of Sanatana Dharma. Pavanam, therefore, is purifying, and both these teachings. Think of God, dwell on God. Don't say, how will I become perfect? That thought itself has risen in you because you have moved away from God. Stay in God. Think of God. Remember God. And say, whatever I am is your will, your wish. You have made me the way I am. And when you desire, you change, you transform me. I have no complaints at the way I am. Looks very odd. On one hand, we have a lot of self-rejection. We don't accept ourselves as we are, nor do we accept others as they are. We don't accept this world as it is. We don't accept anything just like that. Everywhere we have a tendency to complain and ask for something different. But spirituality is very amazing. Yes, in one sense, it is all about transformation. We want to change, we will change. But the highest change takes place when, without complaint, you surrender to God and say to God, it's fine. When you say it's fine, whatever was not fine melts away. In the teachings of J. Krishnamurti, it's very different, the language. And essentially, to me, it's the same. He also says, do not be kidnapped or hijacked by ideas of what should be. I should have been taller. I should have been more robust. I should have been more intelligent. I should have more memory power. I should be something, etc. That is, the lot of everybody. But in the teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti, most central aspect is be with what is, not what should be. Very strange it looks, because you and I think unless we go headlong into changing whatever we are, how will, how will we ever improve? How will we ever get better? Therefore, it requires certain philosophical maturity to understand that the greatest and the healthiest change takes place in us. We will move towards what we want to be, not by getting so identified with our shortcomings, but Krishnamurti would say, stay with what is. Suppose you have short temper, notice, observe, watch, be aware of even fine aspects of how exactly you get angry, how exactly you lose your patience, you lose your temper, how exactly you fret and fume. Notice it, notice it, notice it. Don't waste energy saying, I should not get angry. I don't want to again burst into anger. Rather, be with anger. Very strange way of putting it. But if you think about it, that's so much like how we say, be with God. Where will anger be? Be with God. Where will desire be? Tasya ko mohaha kashokaha ekatva manupashyataha, says the Upanishad. Therefore, Pavanam, to study the Gita, to study the Upanishads with highest priority given to them, and make that process of contemplation come to us more and more naturally. Wherever we go, thoughts must go towards God. Thoughts must go towards this wisdom. They will. Sri Ramakrishna says, if you put garlic in your mouth and bite it, then wherever you go, people will say, "Did you eat garlic?" They get that smell. I can add, if you eat some elaichi, cardamom, and bite those cardamom, seeds, then whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, your mouth will smell the desirable fragrance of cardamom, elaichi or elakki. So you have what you study, how you begin the day, how you spend even 24 minutes in 24 hours in a certain noble way can make a big difference. Then lust and anger, jealousy, greed, etc. quietly vanish. Hold God and see whether your negativities will continue or not. Pavitram says the shloka, Pavanam says Bhashyakara, Idam Uttamam. This is the best. Why go around? Why go in a circuitous manner? Sarvesham Pavananam Shuddhikaranam Brahmajnanam Utkrishtatamam. There are so many things which purify you. There are other things too. Listen to some music, go for a walk in natural surroundings, catch hold of a friend and transfer half your negativities to him in a manner of saying. At the end of your visit to him or telephonic conversation, you are less negative, and the poor man or the poor lady, she takes half of it, she is now negative. So don't do that, that's not the intention. But there are many ways of relaxing, relieving yourself. People go away to Kashmir, to Ladakh, go away on a European tour, and they say, we came back very refreshed. So there are umpteen ways of certain degree of purification, relaxation, rejuvenation, refreshing ourselves. As the computers have the word, reset the machine. The machine is stuck. Just turn the machine off and then turn that on again. Sarvesham pavananam shuddhi karananam ayam bodaha idam brahmajnanam shuddhi karanam krishtatamam. अनेक जन्म सहस्र संचितमपि धर्म अधर्मादि समूलम कर्म क्षणमात्रादेव भस्मीकरोति यतः. Yataha means because this can turn into ash. The sins, for that matter, even the merit, because merit also is like a gold cage. You must rise above both merit and sin. Therefore, dharma adharmadi, kshanamatra deva. In a moment, this awakening can destroy everything in a moment. Ataha kim tasya pavanatvam vaktavyam. These are statements from Shankara Bhāshya, which deserve to be put on a little plate and put it on the wall. Just read again and again. As it is said here, Sahasra Janma Sanchitamapi Karma Kshanamatra Bhasmi Karoti Idam Brahmajnanam. Further, Kincha. Kincha is not name of some Chinese guy. Ting Tong, etc. They have such names there. Kincha means further. Pratyaksha Pratyaksha means Sukadeheva avagamaha yasya tat pratyaksha. When on a hot day, as the weather is presently in Mumbai, it's so hot, and when you turn air conditioner on, if you have one, in a few seconds, the pleasant, cool breeze touches you, and you directly feel the relief. This is good. Like that, Sukadehe avagamaha yatha pratyaksham bhavati tata idam brahmajnanam pratyaksham anubhave prapyate. Pratyakshavagam. अनेक गुणवतोपि धर्म विरुद्धत्वं दृष्टम्. Sometimes there are people who have so many virtues, but somewhere in their life they are doing something something against dharma. Dharma viruddhatvam अनेक गुणवतामपि भवति कदाचन. It is said, yeah. So what is meant is either I said people, but one translation here says for the expression aneka gunavato api, it could refer to other branches of knowledge. So many other forms of knowledge bless you with many benefits. You are an expert in artificial intelligence. You get a good job. You are respected in the society. People look at you with awe. Yesterday, a little video came, doing the rounds. I should not refer too much to these WhatsApp videos, which are sometimes a time waste. But it has started, let me tell you. There is a computer laboratory. Many people are sitting in front of the computers, but all of them seem to be disturbed. They all have got up. Nobody is near the computer now. And a young, energetic lady walks in with glasses. She looks very educated. And she comes in, and everybody, those who are watching the video would imagine maybe the computers have developed a problem, some hardware problem, some software problem, some loose connection, some cable, some router, there are all these components. She comes and smiles at them. And they show to a particular machine, and she goes there, cutting it short. She is not a computer repair person. She leans over that machine and looks behind that monitor and puts her hand into it and takes out a 6 feet long snake. She just lifts it with bare hands. I myself felt, what's she doing? Now it may bite. Because we think every snake bites. But the truth is, those who know snakes very well, they recognize the snake. This lady is a snake expert. She just takes it out like picking up some dead rope. She picks it up and it is trying to escape, but she first lifts it and she has brought a gunny bag of some kind of bag. Manages to put it in the bag and ties the bag up and walks away. Everybody is so relieved. So she has that knowledge, recognizing snakes, and if they are not poisonous, just pick it up with bare hands and take it away to release it probably in some jungle. So there are so many forms of knowledge. अनेक गुणवतोपि अन्यस्य ज्ञानस्य धर्म विरुद्धत्वं दृष्टम्. By being an expert either in computers or in catching snakes or in so many other ways, it doesn't free you from sinful living. You could be an expert in a certain subject, but you could be living in some terrible contradictions. But na tatha atmajnanam dharma virodhi kimtu dharmyam. That's another word from the shloka. As I have said before, those of you who have Shankara Bhāshya in your hands would do well to mark with a pencil those words in the Bhāshya which are actually from the shloka. Dharmyam is from the shloka. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam. Dharmyam means dharmad, anapetam. Apetam means divorced, separated, or devoid of. Anapetam. This Brahma Vidya is never even an inch away from dharma. When you are anchored in Brahma Vidya, when you are anchored, to use another language, in God, in devotion to God, For one last time, to use J. Krishnamurti's language, if you are constantly attentive to what actually is going on, that attention itself, that awareness itself, that observation, you are knowing what's happening, what the mind is doing in fine details, that itself drives away, chases away adharma, dharmyam dharmat anapetam. You will become virtuous. To come upon the flowering of goodness, as the language goes. How do we flower in goodness? Unless we are careful, this world makes us go from bad to worse. We have some trickles of sinful tendencies. As Narada Bhakti Sutra says, Tarangayita pime samudra bhavanti or something. Tiny waves become a whole ocean. They become so big. It all begins small. Sinful ways of living begin small, then become very big. So we have to be in touch with God, study Vedanta and contemplate for your own understanding. Do not study Vedanta to give a lecture. Oh, this Sunday I am going to speak to 100 people. Let me read. Where is my Upanishad book? Rama Rama. That is a very inferior approach. Whether you are giving a lecture or not, whether you are writing articles or not, irrespective of any exams to be faced, now study Gita, study Upanishad for the love of it. Then you will be established in Dharma. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. Dukkha sampadyam is what is so hard to get. But susukham kartum means this is actually easy. It's like Sanskrit language. Looks very difficult. Oh, so much to remember, so much to memorize, and so on. You don't realize in your learning English or Spanish, Portuguese or Gujarati, how much language you have actually memorized. Millions of words or expressions and their right pronunciation and the way it has to be said, etc. Everything you have memorized because of being in regular touch. In Mumbai, which is a melting pot, there are Maharashtrians and Gujaratis and South Indians and Punjabis and a very small number of foreigners too. We often meet somebody. Other day I had dinner at a certain place and the elderly lady is a pure Kannadiga actually from background. But she knows Gujarati much better. Reading, writing, speaking, everything. Because her opposite house there was a Gujarati family. They became so close to each other. Then they proposed. The son of that family married the daughter of this family. So this girl just crossed the corridor. Between their apartment and opposite apartment, there was a corridor. After marriage, she crossed the corridor and went to the other house, where now also she lives over all these decades. She's very elderly now, but she knows. And to me, to complete the reference, she said to me with folded hands, Swamiji, I don't know any Vedanta. I don't know any Gita. I don't know any Shloka. I don't know any Sanskrit. But I married into a Gujarati family. They are, what is that, Pushti Margis. Every morning, I do 1.5 hour to 2 hours of puja to Thakurji. Thakurji is Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, she washes the idol, puts new clothes, chandana, kumkuma, whatever, and then bhog chadana, just gives food to Sri Krishna. Every day she has been doing Maybe before even she married that Gujarati, a young man who is no more now. This old lady, probably in the evening also there is some 1 hour of ritual. Krishna Bhakti. Anyway, why I mentioned is this. Once upon a time, she was a young girl. All the members of the family were Kannada speaking. But slowly she has memorized, not consciously, she learned Gujarati so well. You come across such people. Therefore, it's not a matter of real difficulty. It appears difficult. Sanskrit appears difficult. Every day, spend 10 to 12 minutes. You will slowly see that what appeared very difficult. I feel tempted to tell you. I grew up in some surroundings. Um, Almost every month there used to be some ritual, if not in our home, in another home, what you call Vedic ritual, some havan and smoke going up in the air. The priest would come and recite mantras. When it was done in our home, I remember those days we had these Mangalore tiles and the homa. Homa is a fire ritual. It's done by the Brahmins right in our house, and so much smoke would fill the house. So before the priests came, one of the brothers would climb up and remove 2 or 3 Mangalore tiles if it's not a rainy season. So the smoke would exit, go out. And then also we young boys did not like all that. Who will sit near this? They are chanting mantras and you don't understand anything. So we had an upstairs room from a window we could see down. The hall could be seen from the window of the upstairs room. We would go there and do something of our own in between. Look down. Is it over? What are they doing now? Now the point is, they used to recite so many mantras, and I tell you, I could not understand even a word. And I thought this is Greek and Latin. And much later, many years later, when I got down to studying Gita, Upanishad, Sanskrit, I started teaching Sanskrit also. Then after many years again, I went to my native place once. And again there was some homa, Vedic ritual. I also sat by the side. I tell you, so many words and so many expressions, so many things the Brahmins were reciting, I could figure out because now I am in the familiarity zone. I was some suktas, Hiranyavarnam, Harinim, Suvarna Rajatasrajam, etc. They chanted. I knew every word of it because studying 2 years in the Sandipani Sadhanalaya in Mumbai, I also had learned some of them. Oh, this is Sri Sukta. They are reciting Sri Sukta here. And some very, very, tongue twisters. These priests were reciting. I said, no, I have. Also recited this. So it's our Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So have regular association. Don't think of quantity. As I am fond of saying, 24 minutes in every 24 hours may please be devoted to studying Vedanta, Dharma Shastra, Adhyatma Vidya. Change the book if you like after a few days. Bored of Gita, not very good, but still okay. Then read something in your own mother tongue. You are a Hindi speaking person, let's say from Uttar Pradesh. Okay, pick up Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas, read that. All right, without going too much into it, Shankara gives an example which may first puzzle you. Something very easy to do. He says, Yatha Ratna Viveka Vijnanam. Like the knowledge related to distinguishing precious stones. I first thought it's very difficult to distinguish genuine precious stones from fake ones. But the context seems to be different. As Acharya explains, तत्र अल्प आयासानाम अन्येषाम कर्मणाम सुख संपाद्यानाम अल्प फलत्वम. Ah, no, that's further. So, what he means is, suppose there are some stones, ordinary stones, colorless, lacking in any shine, and one precious stone shining is amidst them. You look at the bunch of stones and say, hey, wait a minute, this is shining, this may be a ratna. You pick it up. Ratnam pashanat vivinakti. Ratna pashanayoho madhye viveka. Pashana is stone, shila, ordinary stone, and there is a shining precious stone. So, alpa ayasana manesham karmanam sukha sampadyanam alpa phalakta. Normally, whatever is easy gives results which are limited. It is not so here. Normally, dushkaranancha mahaphalatvam drishtam. When something is hard to do, whatever involved a lot of hard work gives great rewards also in life generally. You want some great benefits, you have to put in hard work for it. So, where hard work is invested, his rewards are much greater generally. But it is different here. Though this is easy, sukha sampadhyatvad palakshayat vyeti iti prapte. If it is so easy, then the rewards of it also must be just vanishing in a jiffy. No, no, no. Avyayam. This is an exception. Easy to do and bountiful are the rewards. What else do you want? To think of God, to engage in spiritual study, and as Vidushekara Bharati very appropriately added, paropakara. Get up, do something good for others. It becomes easy with a little practice. As Satya Sai Baba summarized his teachings, love all, hurt nobody. So, Mahatmas have summarized the true spirituality. Killing others, making life difficult for them because they don't believe the God that we believe and so on. That is no dharma, that is no spirituality. Fanaticism, on the basis of belief, do you even want to take the life of another person? Who gave you the right? And so on. So you find paropakara. True religion asks us to help others. Para upakara. So avyayam nasya karmavat falataha. Shankara draws a line between millions of karmas, actions, and they're all on one side, in one camp. On the other side of the dividing line, you have Vidya, Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is in a different camp altogether. Asya Vyaha na asti. Having said this, the shloka that comes next has a quick word to say, warning, condemnation of those who waste their life, not trusting true spirituality, not trusting the wisdom of the Gita, instead getting stuck again and again in the pursuit of pleasure, power, position, etc. Lack of faith is the basis of all this. Ashraddhana purushaha dharmasyasya parantapa अप्राप्य माम निवर्तन्ते मृत्यु संसार वर्त्मनि. There are purushaha, literally means men, but men or women, old people or children, doesn't matter who. People who are not shraddhadhana. Shraddhadhana. Notice that the dhana is, first the is an aspirate, second the is aspirate, mahaprana. Because dha, to hold means, dha means to hold. So Shrat is no other than Sat. Truth is held in place by a certain quality of your antakarana that is called Shraddha. Yaya dharayate sat tat Shraddha iti katyate. Sa Shraddha katitha sadvihi. And so on. Viveka Chudamani says, Shraddhatte. Shradd is Sat. Sat is truth. So you want your antakarana, your inner equipment, mind and intellect to hold truth, or do you want your antakarana to house falsity, illusions? Decide. If you want to hold truth, then have faith, have an open mind towards the lofty teachings of spiritual wisdom. Otherwise, Purushaha Ashraddadanaha Asya Dharmasya Ashraddadanaha Mam Aprapya. They don't attain me. A whole 100 years they may live, but alas, even in their last moments, they were thinking of some sweet they had not eaten for a long time, some drink, some other enjoyment, some place they wanted to visit, but could not. Some, as the fifth chapter had used the expression, sansargaja bhoga. Ye hi sansargaja bhoga dukkayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate budaha. Alas. What happens then to such people who, instead of moving towards God or the pure self, the truth, they remain going round and round in falsehood? Well, nothing else. They return to this realm of finitude, nivartante, mam aprapya, not attaining me, samsara vartmani nivartante. And this samsara, this worldly life, is better called death. It doesn't deserve to be called living. To be egoistic is more dying than living. Therefore, mrityu samsara vartmani. Therefore, in the 12th chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna will see it. He will tell us, I lift them, those who surrender to me, I lift them from Mrityu Sansara Sagarat. There the word is Sagara. Teshamaham Samudharta. I do Uddhara, Samudhara of them. Mrityu Sansara Sagarat. And therefore, Mayyeva Mana Adatsva, that is the teaching. So, Shankaracharya says, Ye punaha ashraddhadhanaha, shraddha virahitaha. They don't have the healthy disposition. They find fault with spirituality itself. They look with suspicion at people attending satsangs or conducting satsangs. Asya dharmasya swarupe, either with regard to what this wisdom is, or with regard to tat phalecha, what is the reward of it? Nastika. They have no faith. Asti is to believe there is benefit. No asti, there is no benefit. It's a waste of time. Papakarinaha, they become sinful. Their lack of faith in the true religion makes them get into sinful ways. Asuranam Upanishadam Dehamatratma Darshanam eva Pratipannaha. This expression, Asuranam Upanishad, comes in Brihadaranyaka and some other Vedic portions. Just as wise people have their Upanishad, it's a bit humorous. The demonic people have their own version of Upanishads. What does their Upanishad say? Well, our Upanishad says we are Shuddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness, not this inert body. Theirs does the opposite. They have their own holy books. They have their own scriptures, which are, ridiculously giving us the opposite message. Body itself is the truth. Deha matra. Who am I? Is there a question? Is there a need to go into that question? We are, of course, the body. We are 100% just this body. Deha matra atma darshan. And they are called asutrapaha. There are two meanings to this if you split and sutrapaha. Sutrapaha means, su means easily, trup means become content. See, pious sattvic people are content very easily. With a little they get, with a little food, with a little simple clothes, with this little house, with a little of love and regard that a few people show towards them. That's enough. They don't go after fame, name, popularity. So, good people are sutrapaha. These are asutrapaha. Give them any amount of wealth, make them very famous, take them around the world, put them on high pedestal. For a while they are happy. Afterwards, again, means not. Sutrapaha. Another meaning is you divide asutrapaha into two parts, asu and tripaha. Asu is prana. Asu is a synonym of prana. Prana, pana, vyana, udana, samana, the inner energies. And one of the main, as you know, one of the main expressions of this prana, energy in us is every few hours it says, eat something. Hunger is an expression of prana. Breathing is another expression. Energy in us. One of the expressions is Shudha, hunger, and Trishna, thirst. And these people are only interested in fulfilling their hunger and thirst. Eat, drink, make merry. Asutrapaha. They are content or they are satisfied or they are delighted only when the Jataragni, the fire in their stomach, is satisfied. Therefore, with that kind of going after these pleasures of the world, papaha purushaha, ashraddha dhanaha, having no faith in the higher wisdom, hey Parantapa, O Arjuna, you are one who scorches enemies. Paran tapayati iti Parantapa. Mam Parameshwaram aprapya. Mat praptau naiva ashanka iti mat prapti marga bheda bhakti matramapi aprapya ityartha. Leave alone getting God. Getting God is no way possible for them. Shankaracharya says, Mat praptav naiva ashanka, there is no hope for these people to attain divinity. But mat prapti marga, there are many paths to attain me. As we always say, bhakti marga, jnana marga, yoga marga, karma marga, and so on. There are marga bhedas. Bheda means varieties. Mat prapti marga bhedeshu bhakti matram abhi aprapya. They don't even have the love towards or inclination towards any of these spiritual paths. They just turn their face away. Call them for a devotional program. They say, I am busy, you go and come. Bhakti matram abhi. Tatra tesham ruchihi api nasti. They have no taste for it. Nivartante means nischayana vartante. For sure they return. Kwa, where? Kwa means where? Mrityu samsara vartmani. Mrityu yuktaha samsaraha mrityu samsara. This transmigratory life, this earthly life, where there is death. There is death every now and then. Especially as we get older, we find every now and then we get news of somebody who may be just 3 years older to us, 5 years older to us, die. What? She died? What? She's no more? Oh my God. She was only 2 years older to me, and this man was only 4 years older to me. And once in a while, somebody 10 years younger to us, unexpectedly or after prolonged illness, people go. There is mrityu in this life. Tattasya vartma narakatiryagadi prapti marga. So the path there, when you live in an egoistic way, takes you to hell, tiryag, or to be reborn as animals whose body is horizontal. Tiryag means horizontal, not vertical. 4 legs, and they move in a manner of saying parallel to the surface of the earth. Tasminneva vartante ityartha. This is a quick criticism of atheistic, atheistic and utterly materialistic life. We are warned not to slip into that, by which it's not about harming others. We do harm others, of course, but we harm ourselves so much, alas. Thus, he praised Jnana. Shankaracharya connects us to the next shloka saying, Stutya, Jnanasya Stutya and Ajnanasya Nindaya. He condemned, criticized ignorance or lack of faith and so on. So praise what you want someone to take up and show the problems with the wrong path which you don't want people to take up. So both Sri Krishna has done, and then I deliberately slowed down because the next two shlokas, if you ask me what are those one or two shlokas on which maximum queries have come to you in the last so many years, it is this 4 and 5. Especially from those who have been studying Gita for some years. They telephone me up. Swamiji, we have difficulty in verses 4 and 5. Lord Krishna says things which look contradictory. I am in all living beings, and in the same breath he says, I am not in them. I am in them, I am not in them, they are in me. Oh, all these statements, perplexing, puzzling, they ask. So we will dwell on those two shlokas in the next class, next Tuesday night in the West, Wednesday morning in India. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.